get caught up on some of our advertisers here as we are going 100 miles an hour today. Axiom Tax Resolution Group bringing you the show today, 205tax.com. We all survived last month's, somehow we survived last month's tax deadline, but now it's time to work on that extension. If you filed one, or maybe you've even got issues from years prior dealing with the IRS, it can be so intimidating. Early on, when I first met Perry Cronin over at Axiom, he showed me some of the threat letters, the way they come at people when they try to back them into a corner and get money out of them. And it's like mob stuff. I mean, I wouldn't want to get one of these letters. And if you get one, you just freeze. I mean, you're paralyzed. They can freeze your whole life. They've got the whole power of the federal government. A lot of folks will cave into it or don't know what to do. That's where Perry comes in. He understands the laws that are there to protect you from too much harassment. He understands the programs that are set up by Congress to help you settle these debts. We don't want debtor prisons in this country. We want people to be able to work it out. And there are a lot of programs that will help you do that. So let him help. And you guys get together and let him walk you through it. There was one case I remember one time where they came to Perry and Perry said, well, you don't need to do anything. And they looked at him like he was crazy. He said, the IRS has already missed their own deadlines. But they're not going to tell you stuff like that. But Perry knew that. He looked at the deal and said, they can't collect now. They should have done this, before now. Fascinating. So let him help. He's local. Thus the website, 205tax.com, 205tax.com. And of course, the local phone number is 872-1100, Axiom Tax Resolution Group. Y'all reach out to Perry and let him help. All right, man. Boy, I'm just bouncing all over. Let me throw the weather in, then we'll try to get back on these phones. I appreciate all the phone calls here this afternoon. They have bumped up the weather threat for tomorrow night pretty significantly. Now, if you're back in Mississippi, this could be a big tornado outbreak in parts of Mississippi and parts of West Alabama. But for the Birmingham area, we definitely have a flash flood threat with several inches of rain falling in a short amount of time. And now they bumped us into a potential tornado threat. We're on the enhanced side of that threat. It's not a great threat, but it's there now. Tornadoes were not even part of the forecasting when they first started talking about the system coming through. The timing should be after 7 tomorrow night at some point. It should clear out by early morning. It's going to be a loud night and a rough night and a lot of rain. And you're going to have a way to be weather warned tomorrow night. I've always expressed this over and over for the years. Whenever we have overnight events, that you need to wait to be awakened if there's a warning in your area, and it can just pop out of anywhere because there's huge coverage of this system as well. So let's keep an eye on it. By the time we get back on the air tomorrow, of course, we'll have a much more refined forecast, and we'll be close to the actual event, and we'll be taking care of that for you. And of course, listen out for any changes in that forecast with Val and Richard in the morning, as they'll have you the latest updates when you're heading out to do your day. But again, the timing, if y'all can get off the roads and get buttoned down by, after 7 o'clock, we'll let this one ride on through, we hope. Okay, what else are we dealing with? Man, it's been a busy, crazy active news day. 545-9950 is the phone number if you want to get in on the show. AJ, is Greg still there? I think I dealt with Poe's call.
Yes.
Let's talk to Greg then. He's been holding for a minute. We'll start getting some of y'all in here as we head towards 6 o'clock. Greg, what's on your mind tonight?
Good afternoon.
Hey, man.
Enjoying the show today. That was Poe that was on at the top of the last hour?
Poe was laying it down, yeah.
Brother,
he was great.
I will vote for him. I don't care what he's running for. The man knows.
Yep.
With all of the idiocy of the things that he was pointing out, I did see an ad this morning that gave me a little less pause for concern. I don't know. I think she's running for a district judgeship, and I think she's from my hometown of Bessemer, and her first name is Hope. I did see that. Didn't get her last name. But the tag on her ad today was the only hope on the ballot. And I'm like, yes, that absolutely is. If I lived where she is running, I would vote for her for no other reason than I like that. I like that little flip right there.
She had a good
I didn't see a
tagline.
gun.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
the tagline was awesome.
I like
I
that.
didn't see a gun. I didn't see her with a Bible and maybe a Rena family. I don't know if these people, if that's their real families or not.
It's hard to tell.
Didn't see coming out of church. But I was like, Hope, if you're listening, God bless you. Thank you for giving us hope. She is the only hope on the ballot, and I was very pleased to see that this morning. But I'm with Poe. I mean, there's not a dime's worth of difference in as far as politically and the approach to governance of any of these people, and acting as if they are vastly different from one another. And I have seen the ad that I can't think of her name. Is it Catherine AG
Robertson? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, really? Come on. That's, and I'm sure it's a legal fine line that they are navigating. But if you're going there, you are desperate, and you don't deserve my vote if you're desperate. So,
look, I'm with you, man. It's I was with a dude one time. He was a big donor, and I'll never forget the way he put this. But he's like, if you got real power in this world, you don't have to tell people. A lot of the super wealthy people I know, they don't act like it. They don't run around flashing bling and drive Beamers. I mean, they just don't. They don't care to show it off. They're just who they are. And these people that want to get down with us and have this stereotypical image of a voter and try to relate to that to be relatable in their ads, it just makes them look stupider. And a lot of us understand that. If you're like the rest of us, you don't have to announce it when you walk in the room. I mean, that's just...
It comes across.
Yeah, it does.
Sincerity comes across.
Yeah. And it's one of the things about Trump. Thanks, man. Trump's like a playboy, cad, brash billionaire from New York City. But yet somehow this dude relates to blue-collar workers in the steel mills all over this country. And you don't ever see him put on a freaking plaid shirt. Have y'all ever seen Trump in a plaid shirt? You don't see him put on work boots with a hole in them and go trudging around like he's one of us. He doesn't have to. He doesn't want to pretend to be. He just same old guy, blue suit, red tie, golf clothes every now and then. Terrible hair, and just does his thing. Got the spray tan. He's just Trump. He's the same old Trump he's always been. And that's just that's comfort with who you are. You don't have to be anybody else. And it just gets so tired. And the thing is, a lot of these, there's such a lack of, look, I'm going to have to get off on this Odyssey movie while I'm on this streak right now about the lack of creativity with the campaign ads. And again, the AI thing today with the political campaign out in Los Angeles was brilliant. I would play you. I was scrolling to see if I could find it. It's got this whole complete Batman theme. It's just a 100% Batman thing. But it doesn't make any sense. If you can't see the visuals, it's not going to have the same impact. But it was lampooning his opponents, even himself, in such a way that was very, very entertaining. And I've never seen anything like it. Maybe AI is the thing that'll save us all from these bad ads, because a lot of these people that are in that business, and I was in that business, and I know some of them are incredibly talented. Some of them, they just wound up in that business because there's money in it, and that's it. And these campaigns don't know any better. They don't do this but once every 4 years, and they go find somebody to throw this stupid stuff out, and it's just so boring. It's just boring. I call them attention bores. Now, as far as creativity, let me talk about. So I was jacked up for this Odyssey movie that was coming out this July. It's a big summer. It's supposed to be a blockbuster. It's Christopher Nolan. I think Matt Damon is in it. So they're doing the old classic Odyssey tale. It could have been done epically. There's been all this hype about they actually invented an IMAX camera so they could shoot real scenes and not use CG to make it feel like immersive or something. And then the trailer started coming out, and it's just so off-putting. Maybe AI will save us and create better movies than this. This thing is going to be the biggest flop. I don't know what they've spent on this movie, but if I had to describe it based on the trailers and the critical commentary, this is woke Batman set to an old literary classic. That's all it is. Christopher Nolan has turned him into Batman. The king is Batman. They have a transgender dude as Achilles. The last big Achilles presentation was Brad Pitt. They got a transgender dude, and they picked this Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships, is a woman. I don't know where she's from, but she looks like a 12-year-old boy from Somalia. It doesn't fit. It jerks you out of the immersive experience when they try to. Now, why would they do that? Nolan's not stupid. He knows how to visually present things. Because since 2020, the movies, if you want to get funded and if you want to be eligible for Oscars and awards in front of the Academy, you have a checklist of things you have to put as your lead characters. This was their way of forcing diversity. And look, you can't do that in any workplace and make it not create a caustic reaction when it's phony, just like these phony politicians and these phony political ads. It's the same thing with artistic endeavors and historical pieces or literary pieces that deviate so far from the intent of the literary piece. And that's why these movies, this thing is going to dive bomb. That and everybody in it has an American accent. Like I expected Achilles. I saw one scene today where I expected Achilles to go, "Bro, that was really cool." It's so disconnected. So you got all these big name actors in it. The Devil Wears Prada chick, I forget her name. That she's in there.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway,
Anne
Charlie
Hathaway,
Theron, Zendaya, and Lupe Nyong'o.
Yeah, all these guys, and I'm like, stitch it together and make us believe it. I mean, I've always said, look, they go to great lengths to do the costumes and get all the technology from the day right, and this is just a mishmash. Now, look, it's a work of fiction, so they can do what they want to with it. But I just think the forced nature of forcing. So, for example, these Hollywood rules say that you've got to have either a lead actor that's from a minority group, or you've got to have 30% of the rest of the cast. Say if your lead actor is just a plain old white boy, person of no color, as they're now referred to, those guys, all those white guys. If you put one of them as your lead actor, you got to have 30% of the rest of the cast has to be from one of these groups, or has to represent a sexual minority or have prominent roles. And look, I know why they did all that, but the end product is something that becomes unwatchable. This is Snow White. This is all these other big ticket comic book movies that have crashed. Because at some point, you're just flowing along trying to lose yourself and forget the politics and the daily discussions in the news. And then something weird happens and you're like, hold on, wait a minute. You might as well have a boat horn. You might as well have an accordion in the middle of the Odyssey and just play it when certain people walk into the screen. It couldn't be any less distracting. And we will never get this worked out. I'll tell you what they did, though, and they did it. They found a way to do it in a legitimate storyline. Was they cast Denzel Washington in the second Gladiator, again, a period piece set in Rome, connected to the Roman civilization. But they managed to. He had a plausible reason to be in that movie and in that position to be the bad guy, and he was excellent. The movie was a little weird, and I didn't like it as much as the first one. They found a way to do it that made it work. And it wasn't forced. Plus, he's probably the best actor of our time. But some of this stuff is so. And I was reading a piece on it today, and there's still this Hollywood approach that they believe any controversy ahead of a film is still good, is still publicity and gets the word out about the film. But lately, because of the internet and social media, that has not translated into ticket sales. It's a struggle to get people to show up at the theaters anymore anyway. We've got too many alternatives to entertain ourselves, and then they're going to just Bigfoot you with all this woke stuff, and they're just not going to spend the money. People are sick of being preached to and having this stuff just forced, and you thought they'd realize that the way Disney's gone and some of these other big theater companies, but they're in a bubble, and they're going to have to lose a crap ton of money before they give up on this stuff. And maybe they won't, because who's going to move first? Who's going to be the ones that say, you know what, screw those rules. We're going to cast this movie the way the movie ought to be cast, according to the best actors that fit the role, and that's it. But there they go. Here we go again. Gender swapping, race swapping, doing all this stuff that's just stupid. Storm Restoration Roofing, let me talk to you. Greg Nelson, He texted me earlier in the show about something. He was listening to the Rubio news conference, and I took me a while to get back with him, but man, it's good to hear from him. Best roofer in the business, 25 plus years. I think he's going on 33 decades. Let's round it off a little bit in the roofing business. Whole family's involved. I mean, when you got your kids up there on the roof with you, teaching them how to carry on the family business, you do things right because you got your reputation's riding on that. You don't want people bad-mouthing you at church or at the Little League field because you don't do good work. Greg's done it that way for years. So when it comes to your roofer, one, you got to trust them because you're not up there. You got to trust them to install it right and give you the best deal and help you with the insurance companies and that network of decisions. And they'll do that for you at Storm Restoration. Storm Restoration Roofing. He works on a phone number. So I'm going to give you a second to jot this down. And even if you don't need a roof job right now, maybe that's just not something that's on your mind. These storms that are coming through tomorrow night could put you in the market, and suddenly you're looking for this phone number. So put it somewhere in case you need it. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration. All right, let's get back at it, man. We got a lot to do before we get to 6 o'clock, so let's try it. Let's try to do what we can do. Southern Skies Dermatology next up on the show. Southern Skies is where I go to get checked for skin cancer. I've never had actual skin cancer. I had a couple scares. My mom's had a huge battle with it. I've had other family members that have had to deal with it too. it's just not something you want in your life. Early detection is the key to not only getting rid of it and getting rid of the threat, the health threat that it poses, but even the non-melanoma like basal cell carcinomas and whatever can grow out of control, and you need those addressed soon. So again, early detection, that's 100% on us to do that right and to go in there and get those exams. And the same thing is true for just surviving it. It can be, once it grows out of control or travels internally, you've waited too long. So how do you know? You don't know. So go to the trained eyes at Southern Skies. Let them look you over. It's the easiest doctor visit in the world. They just kind of look you over. If you have something of concern, when you go back, they can get it in one surgical visit because they check it as they go. It's called the Mohs procedure. Dr. Mario is an expert at the Mohs procedure, and it could save your life. Y'all go see him. Great locations and a new one coming to 280, somewhere on the 280 corridor. I don't even know exactly where. They just told me they were working on that for this year, and I'm excited about that. It's southernskiesdermatology.com. Go make that appointment. Get this off your list and feel good about your health. southernskiesdermatology.com. All right, so here's a weird turn, at least for me, with this redistricting situation here in Alabama. Steve Marshall's office just put another news release out a second ago saying that they've now filed with the U.S. District Court in the Northern District of Alabama asking the court to lift the injunctions that are blocking Alabama from drawing maps. Now, I don't understand the strategy here. He's the lawyer, he's the AG, but they started with an immediate appeal to the Supreme Court because the other case is in front of the court. Then a couple of days later, they filed, I think it was Monday, they filed an emergency appeal to the 11th Circuit, and now they've come down to the district court in northern Alabama. They're just working their way down the chain, trying to get some answers from any of these federal courts, while the legislature is sort of pushing through this sort of compromise plan to just revert back to the previous map in 23, which leaves the Democrats with a favorably drawn district, but based on the Supreme Court ruling, an unconstitutional district. So some of this stuff's got to get sorted out, and it's clear to me that Alabama officials had no plan to deal with this, and they're just backing into it. While this deadline looms, we're 2 weeks out from the primary election. I don't know. We'll wait and see. It's 2 weeks to today. They'll have to move the primaries for these districts if they're allowed to go forward. And the federal courts have yet to step up and give any clarity this week. Here it is Wednesday. And the legislature is just moving forward as if they feel like they're going to, and all this could get spiked by a lower court ruling or any court ruling that throws it into disarray based on their reading of the Supreme Court case last week. It's only been a week, and this kind of politics are playing out in states all around us. The governor of South Carolina is still resisting redistricting. Georgia's still resisting it. Tennessee's moving forward. Mississippi's moving forward. Louisiana clearly has to move forward. So there's a lot to keep up with all this, and we don't know how the maps are going to come out from this sausage making. But this just in from Steve Marshall, they filed another appeal. But then I'm sitting here thinking, why would you file simultaneous appeals? Maybe just to get anything from the courts. Because you can't count on, and then what if one overrules the other at some point? I'll let the lawyers figure that out, and we'll talk to you about it when we learn ourselves. All right, here we go. Lots to do as the break approaches. Y'all get in here, 545. I see Steve over there. Steve, we'll get to you too. 545-9950, Leland Live. Y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all, 5:35. Let's get Thomas in here and talk about Stockton Mortgage. Thomas, what's happening with y'all tonight, my man? Hey, Jay, we got
Hey,
Thomas.
man, I just want to tell you,
There he
hey,
is.
if you're in the if any of your listeners out there are in the market looking to build a new home, man, I just got finished talking with a client and got them pre-approved to build another barn dominium. I know you and I talked about
Yeah.
I think it was last week. You and I talked about that, and man, we love helping people build homes. Specifically, we're one of the few lenders out there that loves helping people build barn dominiums. That's the new craze right now, and man, they can build. Those barn dominiums are incredible what they can do with them now. I mean, after going and speaking and talking to some people that specialize in building those things, I mean, it's not what it used to be. So anybody out there that has it pictured in their mind what a barn dominium is supposed to be, completely wipe that out of your mind. And they can build anything you can imagine. And build it out of metal, and those homes are beautiful. And so I just finished up with a client right before you called, getting them pre-approved to build a new barn dominium, and man, it is going to be beautiful. So if anybody out there is looking to build a new home and they're having trouble finding financing for a barn dominium, hey, give us a call, or just a regular financing for traditional frame-built home, or even manufactured or modular homes. We do those as well. So give us a call, 205-859-8859, or savewithstockton.com.
SaveWithStockton.com. We appreciate you, Thomas. There we go.
Yes, sir, man.
As Thomas checking it. SaveWithStockton.com. That's a great site. Set up for the show. Y'all reach out to him. All right, boom. If Steve's still there, we'll get Steve in here real quick. Steve, what's happening with you, man?
Hey, dude, I think the United States might finally go to its final resting place. But it does, I think, I just heard a tail end of it on the local news,
Yep.
I think it's got to pass one more test. And, I mean, could you see, like, one of Obama or Biden's wacko judges blocking it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they'll judge up till they get what they need out of the courts. The courts are.
Do you remember how many, do you remember how many auto ferries landed who sunk in the Pacific in the Atlantic with burning EVs on them?
Yeah.
I mean,
there are a couple of whole ships that caught on fire because the car batteries they were hauling. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they should have just took the oil and grease out in Philadelphia and towed it down there, you know? They should have built a little set down there with, like, John Wayne and Marilyn Monroe and Elvis so people could go down there and get the picture taken with them, It's
pretty creative.
That would have been a cool little tourist attraction. That's not really what I call about. Do you remember Tim Kaine running for president with Hillary?
Was that that crazy guy that was her VP pick?
But he spoke Spanish.
Weird. Yeah. He did, like Rubio today. Rubio threw some Spanish into his news conference, and I get it.
Yeah, I heard.
And I'm glad he can do that. But hell, and I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but it was kind of rude. I was just like, dude, y'all all left us. The reporter asked him something in Spanish. He answered in Spanish. I'm like, what are we, chopped liver over here? Get back to the English.
Wipe up the Hispanic vote, though.
I get it.
I think today should be Inca Memorial Day, if you ask me.
Really now?
Damn Spanish went down there and wiped out the damn the Incas. They built their capital right on top of them, because they'd already had aqueducts and stuff in there, and I think. And then they all want to recolonize the United States, Peru, and it's crazy. I thought colonization went out of style like in the 50s and the 60s.
No, we're being colonized right now. We're being colonized by Islam while we're talking. Their colonization will never stop. These people are just moving everywhere and taking over everywhere they want to.
Oh yeah,
all and people groups have done it, huh?
And they'll outbreed you. That's part of the plan, dude. Don't you think?
We've got a birth rate problem that's emerging worldwide, especially in developed countries. Elon Musk has been warning about this. If you can't replace your population shrinks, and everything starts to shrink with it. Is very dangerous, and Japan has had it for they've had a problem for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And so it's emerging now. The United States, I think we're now in one of the top 10 countries where our birth rate is start to fall below our death rate, and then we're in a doom loop after that.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Catholics used to really keep it going. You got to give them credit. And I'm a
Boy, yeah,
Catholic.
they
I
did.
mean, those
I
big
guess so.
families, and it's just mathematics, if you ask me, for Europe now. I mean, these people come from third world conditions,
Sure.
and they're living better than they've ever lived, and they
Well,
can have
it's-
3, 4, 5
We
kids on the
we kid
state.
around about people talking about being bred out, but it's history. It's when the Europeans got here with diseases that their systems had gotten used to, that the people they came in contact with didn't. There was a double thing. It wiped them out. Then more and more Europeans came. People get replaced. And by the way, I think it's Matt Walsh got one of the best documentary pieces on the utter violence and hostility and cannibalism that was going on here when the white Europeans showed up. We did not come up in here. It wasn't me, but those people didn't roll up in here and see these people sitting around smoking a peace pipe doing deals with each other. They were slaughtering each other. They were eating each other's hearts out, and war was perpetual on this continent in those days as well. So it's the human condition.
They saw all the cool tools like guns, and they saw Mustangs, and I'm not talking about the car, of course. Yeah,
they got
like,
horses and guns
walking
out
around.
of it. It's amazing.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I don't even know how we got into all that, but there's Thomas. Who was that? That was Steve. Steve, man, checking in with us. Ox Foundation Solutions. Let me catch up on a couple of our sponsors. I am way behind because we had that whole hour with Rubio, which was spectacular. If y'all want to get fired up about 28, maybe it's just me, but Rubio right now, I don't know how anybody else is even considered at the top of the ticket. We've still got a long way to go, but this dude threw down today. He can handle. He is so contemporaneous. He can handle all questions. He's got a good rapport with the media. As hostile as they've been with Trump, this dude can talk to him. He doesn't always have to talk down to him, but even when he corrects the premise of their ridiculous questions, he's got a good style about the way he does it and a command of the facts like I haven't seen in politics in a long time. And I believe he believes in the right things. And that's his Cuban heritage. When your family immigrated from the death trap that is communism and Marxism, and you see the danger we're facing right now with a whole ignorant generation coming along, embracing that stuff. Yeah, it makes you pretty suited for the task at hand. But Rubio was fantastic today, and I couldn't break away from it. So I got behind on a lot of our sponsor mentions. So let me throw a couple more at you. Ox Foundation Solutions, talk about them every single night. If you've got anything you suspect with your foundation, here's who you want to come and fix it. They're simply the best. They really are. They're so good at what they do. Whether it's house leveling, water getting in, mold, you don't even know if you have mold, but you kind of sense it. You can almost smell it. If it's bad enough, you can taste it in the air. It's just something ain't right. Let Ox come and take a look. They've got a mold remediation program as we get into the more humid months that could just save your whole home. Look, you got allergens and spores in your air conditioning system because of this mess. Your kids get sick. Get this taken care of. If you work your way back down to the foundation, I mean, it comes from moisture, which can come from cracks or shifts or other intrusion points in your home. Ox can handle all that. OxStrong.com. Get them over there, leveling your house, removing the mold, fixing the water, fixing the cracks, leveling everything. They can handle all of it. Best trained techs in this business, OxStrong.com. Then, of course, Douglas, let's go back up top in your house as we also get into the summer months. And you talk about staying cool and comfortable. You also need a heating and air system that's working to its best capacity, especially when we flip onto that hardcore AC. We've had some nice, pleasant days lately, but y'all know that 95-degree weather's on the way. And it's the humidity, too, that goes with it. Your system keeps all that out of your house. Douglas is just the best company I've come across. That's why I've been with them for 17 years on every home I've owned in that room. They've helped me with everything. They're ready to help you, too. Jay's a thorough guy. I mentioned earlier in the show, we're working on a construction project, and he is doing some estimating of what the capacity needs to be. And I don't know if I've ever been asked this many questions because he wants to do it right, and that's how they do things. So get them over there for your tune-ups, your cleanups, your maintenance, your installs, second opinions, emergency work if you do get into a critical situation when we get into the heat, and let them help you. And get on their plan. That Call Douglas plan really does work, and it keeps your system in top shape. and you don't have to really think about it. They'll put you on the schedule. It's calldouglas.com, license number 2017181. Calldouglas.com. Back here in just a minute. Man, we got a lot to do and only about 12 minutes to do it. Let's get on it. Distinctive Pools next up here on the show. That is Gary Levesque and a wonderful company. Not everybody wants a pool. Some people are dying for a pool. And when you put one on a house, this is just good real estate advice. If you do it cheaply, it's going to cheapen your house. You'd rather not even do it or go to Walmart and get one of those plastic pools and fill it up with a hose pipe and throw that thing away. But if you're going to do it with a quality company like Distinctive that's got decades of experience. that not only can make a beautiful design, but get the installation done right. And then it adds to your home. And it's a feature piece. I've seen real estate ads lately where the picture of the pool was the first thing on the ad, that rather than the curb appeal, it's the pool appeal. So do it right with Gary Levesque and his team. Again, 40 years of Gary alone. I think with all those guys, you probably got well in excess of 100 years of experience of doing these things right. It starts with a plan. They can get you a plan, and that dictates a budget. Then they can help you get financed. And boom, next thing you know, you're inviting all your friends over, or your grandkids, or your kids, or whatever, or nobody. You're just out there butt naked doing a little skinny dip. It's distinctivepools.com. Distinctivepools.com. What a crazy news day. Let me reiterate the weather for tomorrow. I'm going to bounce around here real quick and shove a lot of stuff in at the last minute. We've got a 3 out of 5 severity chance tomorrow. They bumped it up. It's not going to surprise me if they don't bump this up some more as we get into the day tomorrow. If the instability moves even more into Alabama. Right now, Mississippi looks to be on the brunt end of this thing tomorrow evening. Several rounds coming through the south. Our timeline is sometime after 7 o'clock. So let's all pay attention to the weather. Slight tornado threat. It's not zero, but it's not a great threat, but enough to make us pay attention. And then the real threat, I believe, based on the forecasting as of this hour, is going to be several inches of rain and maybe some flash flooding. With the ground saturated, had a lot of rain the last few days. Here comes some more. We need it, but we got to get through the scary stuff too. That's in the forecast for tomorrow. Y'all Birmingham brokers in downtown Birmingham, they'll help you get that car sold. The SUV, that truck, whatever it is that you've got that needs to be gone. Let them help you. I mean, the first thing that's one of their best things is just finding the right price. The market's an elastic thing. It moves around a lot. Demand peaks and wanes with certain kind of vehicles. And every now and then Craig will call me and go, I need small or mid-size luxury SUVs. One time he called me and said, I'll take every pickup truck we can get our hands on. If I remember right, that was back when there was this big flood in Texas from a hurricane, tropical system. And a lot of trucks are needed in Texas. A lot of them got flooded out and totaled. So they were buying up trucks from all over the country. That made the value of people that owned a truck go straight up. That's what you're looking for, somebody that really knows the market and can market all over. And they'll handle the transaction for you. They'll help you with the price, get it prepped, get it marketed, haggle with whomever they find, get it transacted, which means all that tedious paperwork that I hate doing. And then boom, you get the check. It's that easy. And it's a retail check, a big old fat retail check, not a wholesale check you're going to get if you go trade that thing in. It's, of course, Birmingham Broker, downtown Birmingham. Check out the electric motorcycle line that they've got over there, too, while you're at it. BHAMBroker.com, BHAMBroker.com. If I had to look at a theme with another bunch of stories I haven't had time to get into, is just corruption, little bitty corruption stories all over the place. I'll start here in Dallas County in Alabama. Just got a federal raid on their water system. I mean, who's paying attention to the little water system down in Dallas County? Something's going down it, but based on what they're taking out of the facility and the little bit we can pick up on it today, it's got something to do with, more of this water board corruption. It's amazing. And I went through a little spiel on this earlier about how many water boards have found themselves in this situation all over the place. So you got that. There's another story today of several high-level Washington, D.C. Police officers and or senior staff on the D.C. Police Department have just all been fired. Some of them are subject to indictment. They have been fudging their crime statistics. D.C. has had out-of-control crime for years. Trump has had this military presence, which is still there helping. They've still got a problem with these bands of feral youth doing these street takeovers and car burnout things and all this gangbanging and whatever the hell they call it nowadays going on. They just had to shut down Navy Yard last week. So what they've been doing to keep getting their grants and their federal funding and to lie to the world about the safety of the city is fudging the numbers. And, I believe Democrats are doing this all over the country on the Uniform Crime Report. And what that does is allow these blue city mayors to run out, pound their chest about how safe it is. And it's not. People that live in these cities know it. And they're not buying the job. Turns out you were right. Your gut was right. They're lying about violent crime, not just the murder rate, murder's hard to hard to hide. You either got a dead body or you don't. But even in cities like Birmingham, you got a huge unsolved rate. So DC controversy today, that people talk about turning that district into a state. It ain't ready. It's not a state. It should be. They should square it back off and take back the Virginia portion and leave it a federal district and let the federal government manage it. They are incapable of managing themselves in that district, and it's terrible because that's our nation's capital. We should all be able to visit there whenever, and not have to worry about this ridiculous stuff. Then we've got so we had the mass firing with the DC police. Ilhan Omar, hadn't had time to bring her up today too. She missed a deadline today. I don't know if she's just evading because she feels guilty or if she's just that arrogant, but there's a massive investigation going on. At the last report, it was a minimum $250 million in missing money from it's called the Feeding the Future campaign or whatever. She was right in the center of this whole thing. So this isn't even the feds. This isn't even Trump's Justice Department coming after her. This is the state of Minnesota trying to get to the bottom of where the hell the money is. And they're asking her for documents and communication. And today was her deadline. She just said, no, I'm not doing it. I think she's in deep doo-doo. And should she be found culpable for this stuff in addition to everything else, I believe they should just strip her citizenship and send her ass back to Mogadishu. Get her on the plane. Maybe my man Jay Mitchell will Allah Akbar her butt back to Mogadishu. I'm making fun of his radio spot right now. So anyway, she's in the news and deservedly so. We'll see what the people in Minnesota do about their own representative stealing money. Crocker Moving Services next up today too. Let me get Eric in here and his team. There's an uptick in moving in the spring and the summer, and they're there to help you at Crocker with all of that stuff. I love the 2-hour rate. Some of y'all need way more than that. You got a lot of stuff and you're going a long way. They can absolutely handle it. This is a top-notch moving company. But in addition to that, they're able to really be creative and staff their moving trucks and their guys to go knock out these smaller projects back to back. So their minimum is 2 hours. You can't beat that. Their rate is fair. And in 2 hours, it's amazing what I've seen them do in 2 hours. In fact, I don't think I've ever paid them for more than 2 hours, and they've done moves for me 4 or 5 times over the years. It's Crocker Moving Services. Also, they're really good at estimating how long it's going to take them to get something done. CrockerMovingServices.com. Y'all reach out to Eric and all those fine folks over there and let them help you. Man, did I miss anything? It's one of those days when I had a plan and then it all changed. Okay, here we go. One other thing, I saved the best for last. One of our newest sponsors is a company called Floor Tech Coatings. I'm getting more incoming about this company than probably because they're newer. People are fascinated with the story I'm telling you. If you've ever tried to paint your garage floor or put down that color coating to protect the floor and put that flake in it and make it look better, and then it just sucks. It'll yellow within a short amount of time. It'll just change color on you and look kind of gooey and peel loose over time with those hot tires on it. It's because the product itself was bad. Maybe the installer did everything they could to do it right. Look, Kevin, he called himself a serial entrepreneur the first time I met him. They went out and just said, why does this stuff fail? This is a huge industry. They figured it out. It's the ingredients. It's the paint itself. You can't dilute it with solvents. You got to put the real stuff down that's going to last. It will not fade. It will not yellow. It will not peel. It'll last longer than you do in that house. Y'all check them out. Let them come demonstrate why their product's better. Get a custom color and protect that garage floor or any concrete floor at Floor Tech Coatings. It's Floor Tech Coatings. You put a K in that tech, T-E-K, floortechcoatings.com, floortechcoatings.com. Y'all go see them. All right, that's it for me. We will see y'all tomorrow on a hump day. Happy Cinco de Mayo or whatever. And here comes Breaking Bread.
Goodbye, AJ.